Welcome back to Tech Tips. I have with me Joshua Riggs. We're at the Bethany Church, and Josh, everyone is always trying to find volunteers. How do I find some more volunteers to help out in the ministry? I need so many people to help me.
Right. I mean, well, first of all, every church needs more volunteers. It doesn't matter what size church you have. I don't think I've ever heard a pastor say,
I got too many helpers.
Right. I've got too much help. You can go home. So you're not alone in needing more volunteers. That's the first thing. But we're just going to talk about some ways that you can get volunteers to be a part of your ministry. And especially with tech. And this could apply in any area. This could be nursery. It could be greeters, ushers, parking lot. It could be any area. But with tech specifically, one thing you can do is just keep an eye out for people who express interest in the tech stuff. Mm-hmm. So you were saying, earlier, if somebody comes up and asks you about the soundboard and they express interest, that should be like a trigger for you to say, well, let me tell you about it. Come around here, instead of just saying, ignore them or whatever. You can talk to them about it.
Most people walk by, they don't care about what happens here. If anyone does, that's your man or your woman.
Right. If they express interest, then keep that in the back of your mind and then try to encourage them to be a part. And one thing that it's not really a trick, because you're being honest about it, but sort of set up the expectation or set up the potential for them to help. Mm-hmm. So for instance, if I were interested in you helping, I might say, hey Eddie, I noticed that you are really active online.
Yes.
And you have some great Instagram stories. You must be really good at tech. Would you be willing to come talk to me? I've got a great opportunity for you to be a part of what we're doing here at our church. And so you sort of pique their interest.
Yes.
And you set up a meeting, and it's not just like, hey man, we really need some help. Can you help us? Because that's right. Nobody likes that, right?
We're trying to be Ephesians 4, you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
We're trying to equip, and they need to be doing something too.
Right.
They did walk by and look interested. We're going to get them.
Right. So then when you have the meeting, you're going to not just share, well, we need help this, and this. You're going to start with the big vision, the picture of what you're trying to do as a church. So, here at Bethany, so if we were kind of role-playing, I would say, hey, Eddie, at Bethany, our mission is to impact people so they can experience a life-changing relationship with Jesus. That's what we're all about.
That sounds interesting to me.
Yeah, but how you can help with that, I notice you're really tech savvy, and we could really use some help with our sound. We're working to improve that. Right.
Yeah, a couple of Sundays a month maybe.
Yeah, but here's the thing, you're not just pushing buttons, you're helping people to hear the gospel. And because of now, we're live streaming now, you probably know that, not only are they hearing it in the room, they're hearing it online and potentially across the world. They're able to hear the gospel because of what you're doing back behind the soundboard.
I can help. I'll do that. Now, what do I do, though?
So we got a checklist for you, right?
I heard there's a podcast on that somewhere.
Yeah, there's another video about checklists. Be sure to watch that one. But you see the interaction. I'm starting with the big vision and how they can be a part of what God is doing in our ministry. It's not just
no desperation.
It's not we really need your help.
Yeah, and everybody needs to be involved. They need it as much as you need it. It's good for them to be able to be involved, to have something to kind of look forward to.
Yeah. I actually, there are some things in tech that you can actually automate. You can automate stuff to do. I actually prefer not to automate anything because I want to give as many people an opportunity to use their gifts to build up the church. And that's what we're called to do as pastors. As leaders, we're called to equip the saints for the work of the ministry. So we shouldn't be doing all the work.
Right.
We should be finding ways for others to be a part of what God is doing. And so when you get volunteers involved, you're giving them an opportunity to step into their calling of what God's called them to do.
And with tech, it's often people that aren't doing other things. You know? They're not sometimes extroverts or special singers or whatever. So there's something for everyone, and everyone should be involved in some ministry at the church at some level. So it's a good avenue, isn't it?
Yeah. Volunteers are a huge part of every church ministry. And again, like we said at the beginning, you can't have enough volunteers. You got to constantly be thinking, who else could we add to the team? Who's showing interest? Who's good at this type of thing? And then try to get them connected by sharing the vision, the mission with them.
That's good. So, who are some of the targets for volunteers that you can equip, you can disciple? We encourage you and we pray for you as you're out there looking for those folks this week. Thank you for joining us for Tech Tips today.